love you, dumme Kuh, Engel, Bengel.
Wisst ihr, was das Gedicht für mich bedeutet? Darüber haben wir schon mal gesprochen. Carpe diem, nutze den Tag. Jeder Tag muss ganz besonders sein. Wisst ihr, Mathematik, Physik, Chemie und sowas ist ganz, ganz wichtig und notwendig. Aber wisst ihr, was das Leben wirklich lebenswert macht? Poesie,
fantasy short from
Romantik,
Germany. It tells the story of a lonely young boy, Felix, who creates paper people who are in danger of being disintegrated by tentacled water creatures. The performance of the boy playing Felix is wonderful, so sensitive, so sweet. I also like the other performances who go right along with Felix's fantasy. The CGI of the paper creatures was amazing. The emotions of the figures were so lifelike. The vocals were mesmerizing, and the cinematography was so well done, primarily capturing the world from the innocent eyes of the young boy. Really well done film.
I absolutely adored this piece. I think it's such a fun story with, these almost imaginary looking paper people and the threat of water, which is something you don't always think about, paper and water, but it's a fun idea, and putting this, these evil water monsters up against it is so, I hate to say fun because they're in danger, but it's a really fun idea. I think the production value of this was absolutely incredible. It almost reminded me of like the Spiderwick Chronicles and production value of this, mystical world. I think production isn't everything, but it really does add so much to a story, like a sci-fi story. And it really grabs you from the moment, it starts with this boy upside down in the playground and watching it all. And it just made it so enjoyable to watch. And I 100% would watch this again.
Imagination that I love about it, the way that you really jump into the world of a child's imagination and of playtime, and then elevate that to reality, to things that could be real, are real. Does it really matter at the end of the day whether they're real or not? What is more important is what we get from their story and the heroism that he displays in protecting these creatures, these beings, and the connection that he's able to forge even more strongly with his loved ones. That's what really matters at the end of it all. The animated work here is very well done. I thought the imaginary element, quote unquote imaginary elements, were integrated into the real world very well and looked very realistic. And it was just a very enjoyable piece overall.
So much fun to watch. One, just the production value of it was amazing. It was just so cool. I love the setting that it took place in, and just the effects. I think I can just go on forever about everything that happened and how things kind of came to life. And yeah, there were just so many twists and turns to it that I was expecting something to happen at certain points, but it didn't. It happened later on, and I thought that was just so cool to kind of like bring the audience along for the ride and not just expose the paper people at the very beginning. It kind of happened near to the end, and I thought it was so good to not use that trick early on. So it was just really fun to kind of see how the story unfolds, what the reality kind of does with the storybook that they found, and what the music notes had to do with everything, and how it all kind of combines together and intertwines to create this really exciting world. And yeah, I don't know if this is like a folk tale of some form or if this is legitimately someone's complete imagination of creating this, but it was just so well done. It was such a fun and interesting world, and again, the editing and the effects are just so cool. Even the interaction with the hawk and just making that seem so flawless and seem so real was just really exciting to see in any animation sort of sense. So overall, really, really great job.
I really liked the lore and the world building, like with the book and like how the book relates to real life. It reminded me of like something like the same type of vibe as like Spiderwick Chronicles, or like like Spiderwick Chronicles, or like something like Isadora, or kind of like Jumanji or whatever. Just like the lore and the world building like mystical creature type things. I really like that. I really like stories like that, and this is a good example of that. Also, I really like the visual effects. I thought they were really convincing, and the idea of like the cinematography. Like I could commend the cinematography because like to shoot a bunch of like blank trees and then add those effects in post takes vision, and you have to and good pre-pro, and you have to know what you're trying to get and what you're doing to pull that off. And I think y'all pulled it off excellently. So really good job. Also, the actress was great. That little kid is going places, and yeah, overall, really good
I
job.
really love the animation and just the way that the story progresses so slowly. It really takes its time to introduce us to the character of the young boy and immerse us into his world with just little hints along the way that we're going towards something like in the flip book and his spending the time with the cutouts, and then we get to see the Fulgidusen, but sorry, can't remember what they're called, but those little creatures, they're so imaginative. The that they're kind of combination between paper cutouts and this weird diaphanous thing. Yeah, I thought that the whole story just the payoff is worth the wait of discovering the story and the characters. I really like the little nod to Close Encounters also with the tune that she's playing on the flute. Yeah, that gave me a bit of a chuckle. I enjoyed that. The filming was great. The lighting, like, it's just so on point. The whole thing, the way that it's shot, the way the performances are great. Love the soundtrack. That end song is just so haunting, and like a lot of short stories, it's good to kind of end on a bit of an ambiguous twist like this one does.